All right, this is our, our time and judgment conversation session number 2. We're going to pick it up in Numbers 16 in Korah's rebellion. And Korah, Dathan, and Abiram, these are the sons of Levi. And in verse 2 it says, They rose up before Moses with certain of the children of Israel, 250 princes of the assembly, famous in the congregation, men of renown. They gathered themselves together against Moses and against Aaron, and said unto them, You take too much upon you, seeing all the congregation are holy, every one of them, and Yahuwah is among them. Wherefore then lift you up yourselves above the congregation of Yahuwah. Of course, they have a spurious argument against them right out of the gate, right? They say, You lift yourselves up above the congregation. Well, did Moses lift himself up, or did Yahuwah lift him up? Yeah, these are the deceitful tactics of wicked people. Going on, and when Moses heard it, he fell upon his face, and he spoke unto Korah and unto all the company, saying, Even tomorrow Yahuwah will show you who are his, and who is holy, and will cause him to come near unto him, even him whom he hath chosen will he cause to come near unto him. Do this, take you censers, Korah and all his company, and put fire therein, and put incense in them before Yahuwah tomorrow, and it shall be that the man to whom Yahuwah does choose, he shall be holy, and you take too much upon you, you sons of Levi. So Moses is right back at him. These sons of Levi were second level. These were priests above the people. And he goes on. They obviously they're aspiring to elevate themselves to the number one position. And they thought that the numbers mean something. That because they have 253 of them that in their company, that it means something over Moses and Aaron. Going on in verse 8. This is chapter 16 of Numbers. Moses said unto Korah, Hear, I pray you, sons of Levi, seemeth it but a small thing unto you, that the God of Israel has separated you from the congregation of Israel, to bring you near to himself, to do the service of the tabernacle of Yahuwah, and to stand before the congregation, to minister unto them? He has brought you near to him, and all your brethren, the sons of Levi, with you, and seek you the priesthood also? Yeah, they didn't have any humility. They wanted the priesthood also, the number one spot. They weren't happy with second position. And going on, he says, For which cause both you and all this company are gathered together against Yahuwah, and what is Aaron that you murmur against him? And jumping down to 15, Moses was very wroth, and said unto Yahuwah, Respect not their offering. I have not taken one ass from them, and neither have I hurt one of them. This is one of the interesting things. He's letting them know I didn't get paid by him. Now, your preachers over there probably are paid. You're paying them, and he's tickling your ears. It certainly is clouding his judgment. He starts weighing out the messages that he gives you because he's paid by you. His bread and butter come from you instead of out there working 6 days like the rest of us, like he's told to. Of course, this is in violation of Micah chapter 7, where your preachers preach for hire. You have hirelings. Well, you're not getting too much truth. And 16, And Moses said unto Korah, Be thou all thy company before Yahuwah, thou and they and Aaron tomorrow, and take every man his censer, and put incense in them, and bring you before Yahuwah every man his censer, 250 censers. Thou also and Aaron, each of you a censer, and they took every man a censer, and put fire therein, and laid them thereon, and stood in the door of the tabernacle. And then verse 20, And Yahuwah spoke unto Moses and Aaron, saying, Separate yourselves from among this congregation, that I may consume them in a moment. Now, this is time and judgment that is coming right at the same time that the offense comes. So this one's easy to calculate. Now, over there in America, we have time and judgment, but we've been 60, 70 years building this up. And that's where this ties in. Going on in 22, And they fell upon their faces and said, O El, singular God, the Elohim of spirits of all flesh, the plural, shall one man sin, and will you be wroth with all the congregation? And Yahuwah spoke unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the congregation, saying, Get you up from about the tabernacle of Korah, Dathan, and Abiram. And Moses rose up and went to Dathan and Abiram, and elders of Israel followed him. And he spoke unto the congregation, saying, Depart, I pray you, from the tents of these wicked men, and touch nothing of theirs, lest you be consumed in all their sins. Now this reminds me of Revelation, where Revelation says, Come out from my people, that you be not partakers of her sins, and that you receive not of her plagues. Yeah, the time frame is a little longer, but the judgment's quite similar. And if you continue over there to work in America, your tax dollars pay now to fund the killing of innocent babies and abortion. and they pay for predator drones to drop bombs on people, you're even paying for your own bullets, which are going to be used against you from Homeland Security and all that. The 1.6 billion, those are going to be used against Americans. Yeah. Going on, 27. So they got up from the tabernacle of Korah, Dathan, and Abiram on every side. And Dathan and Abiram came out and stood in the door of their tents, their wives and their sons and their little children. And Moses said, Hereby you shall know that Yahuwah hath sent me to do all these works, for I have not done them of my own. If these men die the common death of all men, and if they be visited after the visitation of all men, then Yahuwah hath not sent me. But if Yahuwah makes a new thing, and the earth open her mouth and swallow them up with all that appertain unto them, and they go down quickly into the pit, then you shall understand that these men have provoked Yahuwah. And it came to pass, as he had made an end of speaking all these words, that the ground clave asunder that was under them, the earth opened her mouth and swallowed them up, their houses, and all the men that appertained unto Korah, and all their goods. They and all they that appertained unto them went down alive into the pit. The earth closed upon them. They perished from among the congregation, and all Israel that were round about them fled at the cry of them. And they said, Lest the earth swallow us up also. Can you imagine? The judgment comes to the whole household, and this is the way it works. I found out blessings and protection accrue to the whole household. That's why you want to find a godly man and hang on to him and do what he tells you, and obey these laws. And you don't want a wicked man, because judgment sometimes comes to the whole house. As in this case, all his women, all of his children, all of his servants, all that appertained unto him went down into the pit, and the cry scared everybody else so bad they went running. When you hear the people go, as they go down into the pit, and the earth closes on them. Man, can you imagine witnessing this? Verse 35, And there came out fire from Yahuwah and consumed the 250 men that offered incense. Now get this, the 250 leaders that thought they were going to have a democratic election or whatever, they thought that because there's so many of them, that it's like in America. Just because you all think in the wrong way, there's so many thinking the wrong way and voting in the immoral. Now we have the immoral majority. The immoral majority that want to elect queer senators and stuff, like the one recently in one of the western states there. And, like this sodomite marriage and like, on and on it goes. Oh, no. Numbers do not equal right. Ad populum arguments, they call it, where you have just because you have more people on your side, that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you're the last man standing. Yeah, you need to follow Yahuwah and obey him, and the judgments come from the Heavenly Father. And here it is. Fire shoots out from the tabernacle like Raiders of the Lost Ark. Fire shoots out and kills those 250. Man! And Yahuwah spoke unto Moses, saying, Speak unto Eleazar the son of the priest, and take you up a censer out of the burning, and scatter out the fire yonder, for they are hallowed. And the censers of these sinners against their own souls. And they shall be a sign unto the children of Israel. And 39, he makes a covering for the altar for them out of their censers. That's their bowls. They burn the incense in, each one of these men. A memorial unto the children of Israel, that no stranger which is not of the seed of Aaron come near to offer incense before Yahuwah. Can you imagine looking at that altar the rest of your life with your children and saying, look at those censer plates they beat into a covering for that altar. Remember, that was that old prince that we really liked. The one that was real popular and smooth talking. Yeah. But on the morrow, verse 41, the congregation of the children of Israel murmured against Moses and against Aaron, saying, You have killed the people of Yahuwah. Now here they are again. Boy, you talk about a stiff-necked people. Our great-great-great-great-granddaddies way back then were a stiff-necked people. Boy, if you saw fire shoot out of there and the ground clave asunder, don't you think you would shut your mouth? Don't you think you'd just, someone to grab your lips and shut your mouth for you before you get yourself killed? That's what's going on here. They murmur against Moses again. Oh, yeah, and again they try to attribute this to Moses. Of course, Yahuwah killed them. Yeah, and it came to pass when the congregation was gathered against Moses and against Aaron, they looked toward the tabernacle, and behold, a cloud covered it, and the glory of Yahuwah appeared. They ought to be wetting their pants at this point. Wetting their pants. And Moses and Aaron came before the tabernacle, and Yahuwah spoke unto Moses, Get you up from this congregation, that I may consume them as in a moment. And they fell on their faces, and Moses said, "Take a censer and put fire off the altar and incense and go quickly to the congregation, make an atonement for them, for there is wrath gone out from Yahuwah, the plague is begun." Aaron took it, and he went out there in the midst of the congregation. The plague was begun among the people. He put incense on it, made an atonement for the people, and stood between the dead and the living. And the plague was stayed, and now they that died in the plague were 14,700. Yeah, that's 7 times 2,100, by the way. The 253 previously that died with the fire and the thing was 11 times 23. Interesting numbers. Anyway, showing us that who was in command of all this. But these people had to have 14,000 killed off, and it was probably the people at the front of the crowd that were most vocal. Most vocal. Yeah, you want to think long and hard before you start, being vocal against this God of creation. Yeah, fear is the beginning of wisdom. This judgment comes, and you can learn the lesson pretty easy because it's come so quickly. We're going to pick this up in the third session on time and judgment, and we have some good stuff coming here more from Ecclesiastes. Hallelujah.